You're listening to Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official podcast of Lingerie Fighting Championships. And now, here's your host, Michael Larkin.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me tonight, folks, we got a hell of a contest going on right now, the Goddess Among Us contest, the search for the most beautiful woman in the world. And with me tonight is one of those contestants, a very beautiful woman in her own right, the one, the only Miss Goddess Among Us contestant, Miss Riley Cyriis. How are you?
Heyo, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I am good. First and foremost, guys, I will say this. If you've not checked out Riley, not only with Goddess Among Us, because we'll get into the bio here in a second, but I got to say, I've seen a lot of your content, a lot of great different fetishes, a great different variety within your content. You do an amazing job.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. So let's start it off with this here, because if you guys have not checked out the Goddess Among Us page, it does look a little something like this as I pull it up. You go onto the page, you see this lovely face right here of Miss Riley Cyriis. And I wanted to bring this up here, Miss Riley, because you have an amazing bio. For those who have not read it, it goes a little something like this. I've been so fortunate to find myself in a life surrounded by people I love who support and encourage me to live as my truest self. I become strong and independent, able to express myself creatively and live without fear. Growing up, I never thought I would be able to have that, being diagnosed with celiac and Graves' disease. I was always sick and smaller than everyone around me. I grew up thinking that I was fragile and broken, that I'd always be stuck in the back of the room without a voice. Being able to see and feel the ocean of difference between those two girls, all I want to do is help others see after they find themselves as well. Regardless of your physical body or gender identity or disability, the roots of the person you've meant to be can grow when you're in soil that nurtures you. I want to be an example to every girl and young woman who feels like they are stuck in a place they don't belong, to show that even the smallest or most shy person can become a goddess in the mirror. I love that. That was beautifully said and beautifully stated.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. So let's talk about this. For you, I mean, you've gone through a lot. You've gone through celiac and you've gone through Graves' disease. Can you let everybody know what that is? So for those who are unfamiliar with it, and we'll talk about your style here.
Yeah, so celiac is a disease where I can't eat gluten. I know there's a big fad, gluten-free stuff, but I can't eat gluten. It's wheat, rye, and barley. Basically, it's just a digestive disorder, and it can you can not be able to absorb nutrients pretty much if you keep eating gluten. With Graves' disease, it is a pretty severe form of hypothyroidism. It basically wants you to think that your organs aren't part of you and is trying to reject. A lot of people have big eyes and they kind of protrude from their face because your body says they're not supposed to be there. So that's a big part. Graves. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I was actually recently diagnosed with lupus as well. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, first and foremost, I gotta say, not only God bless you just for the fact that you are kicking ass and taking names, not only just a fighter internally and externally, but I gotta say, I do love your strength and your courage and your overall vibrancy as we see it on the screen here. So you are a warrior in your own right, man. I give you much love and respect to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And we'll talk about, because this one over here, what's great about this contest, folks, is we have a lot of turn-ons and turn-offs. So we'll start with the turn-ons here for you. Kindness, confidence, creativity, a great laugh, and returning the shopping cart. A woman who steals my heart. First and foremost, folks, if you're going to a Stop and Shop or you're going to any type of supermarket, I like your style. The old chivalry is not dead. Just put the shopping cart back. You know how many sometimes people just boom, don't even go up to the doggone thing and don't even put it back in the stand? I like that. I thought that was a nice little creative take on your turn-ons.
It's so easy. I just don't understand. Just keep it in the parking spot. No one else can park there. It drives me nuts.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And I think what I love about this too, as well as besides that we get to find out more about these lovely, amazing ladies, folks, is I think just because the simplest and the most uniqueness, now everybody could talk about being kind and confidence, which you, again, what I love about it too, as well with your vibrancy, you generally, and I say this with the utmost sincerity and respect, you have that vibe and aura about you that you are just a very kind and beautiful soul. We'll put that out in the forefront, ma'am. But also at the same, you're very welcome. But also at the same time too, the chivalry part about it, because that leads to the turnoff side of things as well. Selfishness, bullies, looking down on others. And okay, I'm going to ask you, what is it about the moray eels?
I think it's just like an irrational fear.
Okay.
I don't know why. They're weird and creepy, and I don't like it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I'm from Boston, and if you go to the Boston Aquarium, there's this big tube of like fish and like sharks and turtles and stuff. And there's one part where like you can't really see anything like right in front of you, and this big old eel just came right by, and I fell to the floor and I screamed. Oh, it was horrible.
No, I like your style. I thought that was very unique, and I'll show my nerdiness self here. Anytime I think of eels, I think of SpongeBob SquarePants with SpongeBob and Patrick playing eels and escalators, and that's when SpongeBob says number 11. You know what I'm saying? You can't be saying them curse words out of the 13 curse words, man. Eels and escalators, hello. But no. But no, I understand it. I mean, the look, the appeal of some type of animals and stuff, but I thought that was very unique. And I've actually seen moray eels before in my life. So for those who have not seen, I've also put up an image in this show. For those who do not understand what a moray eel looks like, they do have a type of vibe about them. So I feel you. I totally understand. And favorite drink here. Now, a lot of the girls will come on here. They'll say it's type of like wine or alcohol or drink, or they'll say it's just something so simple as water. This one over here, chocolate milk. Like your style. Get yourself some Nesquik chocolate milk. What kind of chocolate milk you into?
I like the salted caramel one the most. Especially, I don't know. I just realized that like fluff, like this little jar of marshmallow, is not everywhere in the world. So instead of using marshmallows, I put a good scoop of fluff on my hot chocolate. Delicious.
I like your style, fluffing out. Okay, chocolate milk. And favorite food. You went on the other side of the spectrum. You went with the barbecue wings. I like your style. You want your baby back ribs. You want some wings on the side of that. My goodness, what type of barbecue wings are we into, man?
Well, bone in because I can't have the bread on the outside.
Understood.
I literally just ate an entire like box of barbecue wings with fries.
I like
Literally.
okay. You see, again, the weight of the heart is through the stomach. I like your style here because let me tell you some good barbecue wings, like you mentioned off the bone. It's like when you see all of them going to the contest and you're just eating up all the wings and stuffing them and just butt to the side. That's beast mode, man. I like it.
And barbecue sauce all over my face.
I like it. And you said the perfect fantasy for a summer that never ends. Give me some nice weather, warm weather, good times, right?
I know, yeah. I just love it. I love the sun. I love being outside and everything in nature. It's just so much fun. There's so much to do. I love it.
No, I'm right there with you because as a young man who grew up on Long Island, New York for a good 20 plus years of his life, I always used to hate winter because we used to get all those doggone snows and just piling up with the snow. Like every time summer would end, I would be like, ugh, because winter's coming, shoveling's coming, but you have the nice little summer, you got the beach, you got everything, you got good times, great memories, and great moments, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. All right. And the best ambition to have on this right here, to be able to use my platform to spread happiness and positivity while earning enough to take care of my people. First of all, you are the epitome, dare I say, Riley Cyrus, of the ride or die mentality, so to speak. I like your style there because we need a lot of great people like you in this world.
Thank you. I try my best.
You are very welcome. And now I will say this. If you've not checked her out once more, go to Goddess Among Us. Give yourself a vote for Riley Cyrus over here because you got my vote, man. I definitely look forward to seeing how far you go in the contest.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. So let's talk about the content side of things because we got to know a great deal about the woman here and this great bio here. But god dang it, man, you have done a lot of great work with Chibi. You've done your work with your sister. You've done some great work as far as your partners. We've seen a lot of different type of fetish and uniqueness, which we'll get into in today's forum. But what kind of gravitated you toward the content creative side of things? Because you've done some adult content and really showcased a lot from the external beauty side of things. What kind of gravitated you towards that side of things?
Okay. Well, I got into the industry by accident.
Okay.
So I was just doing I just posted a few videos on the hub, and people from my high school, from my very small town, found it and came to my work, even Ryan's work, and just told everybody what I did. And people coming in and like, like there she is, whatever. It was bad. So I ended up leaving that job, but it was either like be that girl that like posted a few videos on the hub, or take it by the balls and run. So I did that instead. And I really just ran with it out of spite, honestly. I was made fun of a lot when I was growing up, and I don't think anybody really expected me to do something like that. So
I will say this: you are the perfect type of just pretty much. It's like go fuck it, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run, so to speak. I think what I like about it too, as well, is again when you grow up, and I can speak as someone who was bullied himself growing up. I think when you come from a town, or whether you come from the atmosphere, the overall surroundings, so you speak, because I think everything in life, it's all about who you surround yourself with and your surroundings as a whole. I think for you, man, with such a horrific things like, hey, here I am out on the internet, we found this, we found that, but at the end of the day, I think you've really shown, and I could say this through in the imagery and what you put out there from your content creative standpoint, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of confidence, there's a lot of sex appeal, the real deal sex appeal, if you will. So it shows. I think you've done great thus far within your tenure.
Thank you. Yeah, I try and I mainly categorize myself as a kink star, and there's a lot of different things out there that I have learned about, and it's really exciting, like learning about all these things, and kind of accepting, like being that person that someone can come to and feel comfortable talking about their things with. So that's been really awesome for me in the industry. So that's been really cool.
The best way to do with anything in life, and I think you can agree with me on this, my dear friend, is accommodation and comfortability is key in any walk of life or any facet of life that you go into. I think for you, if you provide a safe space, if you provide a gravitational pull, so to speak, Riley Cyriis, here I am, boom, right in front of your face, but also at the same time, you deliver that warmth, you deliver that overall attitude, that real deal sex appeal. I think not only are you golden, number one, but also number two, you do provide a lot of great things for people. And if somebody can have an escape from it, or they can be inspired by it through your overall aura, I think at the end of the day, it's worth it,
Yeah, I think it's all worth it. Yeah, this is what I'm here for sure.
Now, I have to ask you first and foremost, because if you checked out the imagery of Riley Cyriis over here, I got to say, sometimes you got like the little elf ears going, you got a little like fantasy vibe to it. It's mixed with the overall cuteness of like the fantasy type of world with like different sorts of comics, different type of what have you. I think you have a great look with what you're doing, number one, but also number two, that's such a huge market of just overall badassery. And number three, hell yes, man, because it really attracts a lot of people from what you're trying to do within your style and aesthetics.
Thank you. Yeah, I try and dabble in a lot of different things. Like usually on Thursdays when I'm camping, it's like a goth night, like a darker vibe. But yeah, I found like I grew up like as an artist and an entertainer, so I really like to incorporate like my art and my creativity like into what I do, which is so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. I got to say, for those who've not seen it as well, I think what I do like about it too as well within your content and you as a person, it's like, okay, we'll have some goth vibes here. We'll have sexiness right here. I mean, you've done a lot of videos that involve, dare I say, and we'll put it the bluntest of terms, if you've seen Riley on the pub side and the ManyVid side, I mean, there's a lot of piss content. There's a lot of stuff that involves braces. If you've seen the categories that go into it, man, I got to say, you provide a wide array, number one, but number two, there's a lot of interesting stuff on there, man. And I say interesting in the nicest possible way, because there's a lot of things that people are into. And I do say you do have the accoutrement, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have all my videos on there, but I definitely have like over 500 videos.
God dang, man. And I got to say, for you, what is it about those different type of genres? Because like I said, we talk about the piss side of things. We talk about the overall sensuality side of things. What is it that kind of gravitated to you with more of those? Because I got to say, those have really become a big sell for you within your content.
Yeah, for sure. Like the piss stuff, I just like tried it one day and I posted it and people loved it. So I just kind of ran with it and I love it, obviously. But yeah, so a lot of my videos, like usually my own creativity, but there's also videos that like people have asked of me, like whether you put in customs or whatever, and then I can post them as well. So there is a big array of different categories because of that, because there's a lot of people that see me as like a kink star and someone that they can come to. I mean, I've heard some very strange things, to be honest, but I won't go into that. But yeah, there's a lot of things out there. Like teeth. People are really into teeth sometimes.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Now, here's where, first of all, and you don't have to go into it too much because I got to say there are a lot of freaks out there. But I mean, there's freak flag can fly type of vibes. But then when you go over the level, I completely understand. And I think what's interesting about it too, as well as like you mentioned teeth, like you never know what someone's into because there are a lot of people like you see different type of fetishes and preferences, which is very unique for us as beings and overall people, right? Some people like feet, some people like we mentioned piss, some people like this and like that. But with the customs and everything in general, I think it's kind of interesting to see like one's mind and what they're into. And I think if you could be that sweet, sweet fantasy baby, to quote the great Mariah Carey, mixed with ODB on the track, I think there's so many things that really can have that array, not only number one to it, but number two, fulfilling the fantasy is another thing just because of overall imagery and overall content creation and videos. We're really getting to see a lot what the person is about. And I think if you can provide that with your content and your artistry and creativity like you have, at the end of the day, it's worth it, but it's also very fulfilling and rewarding to the clientele, right?
Absolutely. For like an example of like trying to like I try and make a difference in like everything that I do, and because I got into sex work by accident, I kind of I bring that with me. So like even like during COVID, people were alone, and if they lived alone or they lived with their partner and butting heads, like I got messages during COVID where like my content like help them with a relationship, like opening up doors, conversation about what they might be into, or just them being lonely, and like all my stuff really kept them company. So I think that's really cool.
I think what I love about you too as well is that not only do I love the smile and the sincerity and your genuinity here, I think the best thing that really we can take from your content and you as a whole and your foundation, Miss Riley, is that life is an art form and we are all applying our crafts and we all look to apply our craft in amazing fashion. And I think when you look at what COVID was, man, like the overall aesthetic of, all right, we're home. We're not doing anything. It's isolation. We're going from everybody, and OnlyFans and ManyVids are really a hot commodity for people to accumulate money. And from a business standpoint, really has things booming, so to speak. So, I mean, if you can give and have people cope with everything through COVID and stay positively proactive, I think that's very rewarding in itself.
Yeah, it was really cool. COVID was a wild time, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I got to say for you too as well, not only, I mean, it's tough, like it could be like for accident, like you said, accidental purposes, but the adult entertainment industry does have a lot of great stuff that goes into it, not only from the preferences like we mentioned, but I think us as our overall beings and what we put into it, creativity is key in anything that you do, and everybody gets their shine on in many different ways, to put it in the most bluntest of terms. I think if you can really find your niche, find your shine, I think as a person, you're golden. And I think it really does elaborate one to expand their horizon, so to speak. But number two, just let themselves go out there and do what they do. So I think for putting yourself out there the way that you do, number one, kudos and respect. But number three, I admire the hard work that you put within your content.
Thank you. Yeah, I think something that is really important that I try and tell models, I try and help models, even if they have a lower rank than me, like I don't care. Like I try and help them as much as I can. But I feel like a lot of people like look at ideas and like take that idea and like kind of somewhat do the same thing. But I always tell you, like, be who you are, make what you want to do, because like that's what's going to show, like that you're enjoying what you're doing. So yeah, I think just being authentic in what you do, even in sex work, is definitely important with your creativity, because that's your own little brain doing the thing,
Absolutely. And I completely agree with you on the fact that you also look at it like if you really take a deep dive into it, folks. And I think we like to do that in this form, like the beauty, strength, and dominance form of the show here. It's titled because of beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. I think if you really truly look at sexiness and how sexy really comes into person, it can be internally, externally, and just their overall foundation. I think we always, really accumulate and kind of equate sexiness with just the external side of things. But if you look at women for the overall whole that they are and the work of art that they are, I think you get to really see a lot of sexiness from their foundation and really do a deep dive of what really is sexy about a woman. And I think that also applies with goddess. Like I've had Sean Donnelly, the LFC CEO, on this show. We always talk about how goddess can come in many different forms. And I mean, it could be in the form of this one over here, Riley Cyriis up in this piece, or many different women that you see in the contest that we got to go on, folks, the many contestants. But for you, Riley, I got to ask you, a goddess, what does a goddess mean to Riley Cyriis?
I think a goddess is someone to look up to, like, let's say, like goddesses of the Greek culture. Like we look up to them as idols, like what they do, not just what they look like. Yeah, I think I think this is awesome that like it's all combined, like not just beauty, but like what's deeper. Yeah, I think being a goddess is being a role model, being who you are, being confident. Confident is huge in who you are. Yeah, I mean, beauty isn't everything.
And first of all, beautifully and eloquently said, ma'am. I think that's a great answer. And number two, the kindness and just the overall confidence. And I say this too, and I equate this with a lot of your verbiage that we saw in your bio, man, was confidence goes with a lot of things just for overall putting yourself out there, number one, or number two, just the confidence of taking on the day, waking up each and every morning, putting a smile on your face and really knowing the purpose that you have with life and the journey that you're on and the right direction, so to speak, that you're going down. So, I mean, confidence is key. And you certainly have shown a lot of confidence once more. And kudos to you, because I can't wait to see where your journey continues to take you.
I put a lot of work in. Let me tell you, I grew up very shy. I mean, like I had to go to speech therapy because I wouldn't talk to anybody. Like, yeah, I was very shy, like very like in the corner, like don't look at me, social camouflage. But like shout out to my husband and creator, Ryan. Like he just gave me like the soil to grow. Like all you need is just someone, like people just like to put you in a box and tell you like this is that and this is that, but like you just need some elbow room just to become who you are. You really do, and just grow who you are. So I want to teach people how to do that and be an example of that, because I wasn't like this at all. So yeah, I think yeah, like showing your confidence is definitely sexy for sure.
Let me just put it out here. First of all, God bless to both you and your husband. Wishing you both nothing but love and happiness. Number one on that front. That's wonderful. And number two, I look at it like this too as well. And I can equate with, I think, for those who are bullied, number one, as a kid, or if you're shy, like we touch upon, I'm shy as well. I think it's very hard not only to, like you said, like going through having to take speech therapy because you're just like, you know what, I'm going to be over here. I don't want to talk to anybody. I think it just takes the courage, number one, just to go through, but also number two, it really does set the tone for life in itself, man, because I mean, we all have improvements. No one's perfect, but also at the same time, you know, we all learn, we adapt and grow because we're not always as we are here. And I think if you don't stop learning, if you don't continue to grow, I think then you're just going to be complacent. So I think I admire you for going through the steps just to get to where you are today, number one, but also number two, I think you do show that inspiration to a lot of people, and to see where you are today is absolutely wonderful. And I think you're going to do a lot of good in this world.
Well, if you were shy before, I am also proud of you for coming out of that shell and doing a podcast. That's pretty awesome putting your face out there.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. No, I appreciate you doing this, the same thing. And I mean, it's funny because even if you do this for as long as I've had, I've always got to say my shyness still goes in there. But I think if we can really open up like this, because I'll tell you straight up, it took me a long time to really start doing videos and stuff with my 4-eyed glasses over here. Face just call me the nerdski over here. All I need to put is the tape on here and I look like Robert Carradine in Revenge of the Nerds, for God's sake. But no, I digress. I think it takes a lot of courage for a lot of people to do what we do and really open up and expand the horizons and break out of the shell. And I think that a lot of people can learn that from today's forum. Just go out of your shell, do you, and to put it in the bluntest of terms, fuck what anybody else says and just stay on your path. So yes, I think there's a lot
Yep.
But I will say this, Miss Yep over here. I think, yes, you are going not only continue to make great content, which again, fabulous job with what you and your husband do, and you as a solo act do as well, because it's a lot of great stuff. And you guys should check out Miss Riley Cyriis, which, by the way, badass name, man, with the Cyrus type of vibe, because, you know, when you think of the Cyrus name, you think achy breaky heart. You Can't Be Tamed. Mix a little Billy and Miley up in this piece. But I got to say the name, not only from the markability standpoint, I enjoy it. It's all in a name, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. And I will say this, if you've not checked out again, Goddess Among Us, vote for. Put the vote in, man. We have the most beautiful woman in the world. And this right here, this girl right here, Riley Cyriis. Go out your way and vote and see all the great contestants. Go to goddessamongus.contest.com. And I'm going to say this right now. The forum is here because before I get to my last set of questions, I just want to say this. You, my friend, are a beautiful human being, and you are a wonderful human being, and I can't wait to see where your journey takes you, number one. And number two, anytime you want to come back on the show, you're more than welcome. The floor is yours. The overture's here.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And before we do close this out, folks, you got to hear a lot and talk about Riley here, which I got to say, badass attire in your own right coming onto the video for this forum and this show. I got to give you kudos. I love it. You look good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very excited for my new journey in all of this. And I'm excited, like, if I make it, I'm excited to meet everybody. That's all.
Oh,
like minds, you know.
Absolutely. I think that's what we get with this contest, like minds, like attire, and like faction, and just like everything that really goes within being a goddess in the great world of reality television. And I got to ask you, since this is Lingerie Fighting Championships and everything that goes within this contest, for you, I got to ask you, the L in LFC is lingerie for you, because we've seen your imagery, we've seen your photos, we've seen your badassery, if you will. Yes, I'm saying the word badassery. From the lingerie side of things, Miss Riley Cyriis, what's some of your favorite lingerie to really hop into? Because you definitely have a look within your imagery and your overall goddess-like vibes here, man.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, if it's for entertainment, I definitely like to go bold. I mean, I love my strappy. Yeah, I like my strappy stuff. I do a lot of cosplays too, so that's always really fun. But like just becoming this character when you put on an outfit is like huge. So really, any outfit that I'm wearing, I try and like become that. So it's really cool.
Okay, beautifully and eloquently said. And let's talk about the cosplaying for a second here, because can I just say that market, not only is it awesome, but it's just like the imagination side of things and creativity is wonderful. Like I mentioned the elves' ears earlier. I got to give you a shout out on the cosplay, man, because you definitely rocking and vibing and you own it. I got to give you kudos. What's some of your favorite cosplays?
I really like my Froppy from My Hero Academia. I love her so much. She's just weird, and I really vibe with that. Obviously. So I really liked Froppy. Power was really fun. I think those are probably my two favorite. I have a lot that I'm like working on. I'm a very busy person, so doing cosplay I really have to like cut out a day to like do it. But I'm cutting out some time to do some more. So I have a lot coming up, so stay tuned.
Fair enough. No spoilers, and I like the little teaser at the end. Thank you. But no, okay, I got to put this over because this one talking about Air Academia over here. There is actually a wrestler out there named Eric Academia who's based off of that character because she loves, and if you guys have never seen her on the wrestling scene, I definitely go check her out. She's very big into that show because not only does it also focusing on bullying, but also, and I've said this about animes and any type of cosplaying, I think people don't really understand like the raw emotion that goes into those shows. If you've never watched it, you should, folks, because my God, the storytelling, the emotion that goes into it, it's everything. It's a great story, right?
It is. Yeah, even my best friend, I'm trying to convince her to watch anime. Like, she likes cartoons and stuff, and she's like, like, whatever. And I'm like, no, like, I'm going to give you some lists. You're going to have to watch it because I think a lot of people have the stigma of, like, it's a cartoon, you know, but it's not. There's, like, a huge storyline. It gets really deep sometimes in some of them. But some are just absolutely silly, like One Punch Man.
Right. Oh my goodness, One Punch Man. Yes. No. Like, it's funny, like we all grow up with like the Narutos and the Avatar, the Last Airbenders, the Pokemon, Digimons, the Yu-Gi-Ohs. And it's funny because like if you look at cartoons and anime, like again, cartoons funny, there's silly stuff with anime, there's serious stuff with anything that we do from the animation side of things. But it's like it's like the same thing, but it's not. But like I said, if you watch cartoons, if you can watch, like for instance, you watch your old school Tom and Jerry's, you watch like an Alvin and the Chipmunks, you watch Ed, Edd and Eddy, any Cartoon Network type of show. Like I said, folks, check out the anime side of things because again, it's another avenue of what we get to see from the animation side of things.
For sure, absolutely. I love anime so much. I watch anime every single day. I just finished Reincarnation as a Swan today. I hope they continue that one because kind of had a cliffhanger at the end there. We'll see.
No spoilers, but this one over here, Reincarnation of a Swan. Yes, ma'am. Okay. You have great taste, Miss Riley Cyrus. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Alrighty now. And animes and just overall good taste and overall excellence by Miss Riley Cyrus over here. Please let us know where we can follow you on the social media front because you are a great follow. You guys should check her out and see all of her great content creation. Where can we follow you on the social media front, Riley?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty much everywhere. If you want filthy, go to Reddit. If you want funny, probably TikTok. Twitter has it all. But yeah, Instagram, of course. And then my subscription sites like OnlyFans, Fancy, ManyVids, stuff like that. So, there's a big variety of everything. Whatever you're looking for, it's probably there.
Links will be in the description. I like your style. You are a wide array of excellence. Okay, now let me just put this over here because not only the fact that you get different type of vibes with you, which I love because it really shows your uniqueness as a person. It does show within your work and you as an overall being. But a lot of people don't even realize if you look at OnlyFans and ManyVids, we always look at the adult side of things. But man, it's the community, man, because there's so many great fans that love OnlyFans and ManyVids. Like the community of fans and interaction, that is awesome. I think a lot of people oversee that. They just think of the overall, entertainment value and the variety and the overall sex appeal and sexiness, if you will, but the communities on those sites are really great.
Absolutely. Some of my absolute best friends I've met like online. Shout out to Robert and Voodoo. You guys are my man. I love you guys. But yeah, like some of my like greatest friends and the people that I talk to every day is people that I met through here. Of course, models are always really cool. And I've met so many different people. It's been really fun.
And if you're not having fun, then why do it? And you want to check out tons of fun. And if you want to check out fun till the daddy takes the T-bird away. Yes, I went down that route. Check out Riley Cyrus and all the great talent that come within the Goddess Among Us contents and the content creators, the adult entertainment and the model side of things. Because, oh my goodness, 10 out of 10 from everything that we see from women as a whole and one Miss Riley Cyrus over here. So, folks, if you want to check out Lingerie Fighting Championships, go to goddessamongus.com to showcase what we see within this contest. Go to lfcfights.com. Go to the VIP section of the lfcfights.com website where you can see this show, this face, and many great guests on the Beauty, Strength, and Dominance podcast. And check out the LFC events. Recently, LFC 38 Angels and Little Devils and LFC 39 Goddess Among Us from Las Vegas, Nevada, and Kissimmee, Florida, respectively. And you can check out myself on Mike Larkin 92 on YouTube and wherever you get your social media fronts. Link will be in the description. And Riley Cyrus, before we close this out, as I always say, life is an art form where we're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. And do you have any final words for the LFC faithful, the Goddess Among Us voters and supporters? What are your final words before we close this thing out? Because if you're not, go ahead and vote for her. But Riley, any final words?
I like to say this at like the end of my streams. I want to remind you to be kind to yourself first and foremost. You come first at the end of the day. You're the only one up here. So like kind of gather your thoughts as like a third person. It's not easy to gather your thoughts and start thinking positively, but it is a journey. We're all on it. So yeah, I'm really excited for my new journey and I'm excited for everybody else's journey that's going to be part of the Goddess. So it's really nice meeting you.
Same. And I will say this, man, if you've not checked out the TikToks and everything, first of all, you're a funny son of a gun. I got to put that out there. No, like I've seen the faces. I've seen everything from everything that goes with TikTok. I got to say, you're a very funny son of a gun. I'm always entertained by your stuff.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. No, it's good. Like, give me some music, everything that goes with it from the TikTok side of things. I got to say, I have laughed, and the laugh of the nicest ways. It's like if you don't laugh, you cry. But like I said, when you're crying happy tears of laughter and joy streaming down your face like freaking Creed up in here with arms wide open, like you're really a funny and talented person. You really do a lot of great work on that end.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Once again, check out the links below. And as I always say to end this show, smiles on the faces, good energy, and manifesting right into the universe. Beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Riley Cyrus, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Michael.
You're very welcome.
to me. I love the way you're on to me. Looking at you, looking like you're wondering if we're here for the same reason. And I bet you wanna lay in the sun, getting love drunk, sticking like honey. Yeah, I bet you're here for some fun with that someone, feeling that something. If you're looking for a good time, honey, I'm right here. If you're looking for the good life, good vibes, honey, I'm right here. And I'm waiting for you. And I love you in your summer skin. Looking at you, looking like you're into it. 'Cause we're here for the same reason. Yeah, I just wanna lay in the sun, getting love drunk, sticking like honey, like honey. Yeah, 'cause I'm just here for some fun with that someone, feeling that something, that something. If you're looking for a good time, honey, I'm right here.